Welcome to Origins, where we go over the origins of your favorite superheroes and villains. Today we're going to be going over the origins of Black Panther, as revealed in the retelling in 2005. The Wakandans are known throughout the ages as being technologically superior to everyone else. There's tales being told of giant crossbows and battlefields where no one could even see the Wakandans. They proved this as early as the 5th century. The legends of how far advanced they are then carried throughout the ages all the way to the 19th century, when men decided that they were going to try and capture Wakanda for the massive amount of natural resources that they were known to have there. But throughout all of these legends and rumors all about Wakanda, no one ever revealed the Black Panther. As the men prepared to begin their onslaught on Wakanda, a lone man in a cowl walks out, and he tells them to go home now and he'll let them live. Well, of course these men refused, and they just laugh at the one lone man standing out there. So the man who's in charge of the approaching army declares, "Fire!" And then he watches as all of his men's guns explode in their hands. The Black Panther just stands there watching. The man in charge then screams, "Die!" as he jumps on a Gatling gun and he begins to try and open fire on the Black Panther, only to also have that misfire and explode in his face. And the Black Panther just stands there watching. One of the other men then steps up at this point. "Sir, none of us have fired on you. He was the only man who wanted to continue this. Can we still leave?" And the Black Panther just stands there watching. The Panther has defeated many invaders, and even heroes who have come to help. In 1944, the Nazis were known to have taken over Wakanda, so Captain America came to help out. What he didn't know is that the Wakandans already had their own defender, the Black Panther, who had already defeated the Nazis days ago. The Black Panther and Captain America both battled it out, and Captain America actually lost. Then again in the 1960s, the Fantastic Four were invited to the city of Wakanda so that the Black Panther can defeat them and prove his superiority. Events like this kept happening over and over, and it was partly due to the fact that Wakanda was known for being a very secret nation, so everyone always wondered what was going on inside of there. But it was when T'Challa took over that things changed for the nation of Wakanda, and for the title of Black Panther. You see, the city of Wakanda is a deeply spiritual nation, and the title of Black Panther is passed between the rulers of this nation over and over. Children are trained from childhood to take the title of Black Panther eventually, and T'Challa was not an exception, as he trained from a young age to eventually take that title. And once a year, anyone in the nation was allowed to challenge the current Black Panther for the title. You see, when T'Challa's father died, he was too young to take the title of Black Panther, so it was T'Challa's uncle who had the title. And T'Challa entered the yearly arena to see if he could take the title from his uncle. In an incredible fight, the citizens of Wakanda will remember for ages to come. All of T'Challa's training paid off as he bested his uncle and was declared the new Black Panther. At this point, you may be curious as to what happened to T'Challa's father and why his uncle was the Black Panther. Well, the man that was killed by the 19th century era Black Panther, his great-great-great-great-grandson was seeking revenge against the Wakandan nation. The king of the nation at that time was T'Challa's father, T'Chaka. He was invited to a UN hearing in which the rest of the nations wanted to get a crack at the plentiful resources that Wakanda was keeping for themselves. But within the first few sentences, they offended the king of the Wakandan nation by referring to him by his first name. Thus, being offended, he decided to leave. But since this was the first time that the king of the nation had left Wakanda, a team of assassins were also there waiting for him in case those talks went sour. When he went back to his room with the rest of his family, a shot was fired at him while he was taking that moment with his family, except that his security had placed a micro layer of vibranium on the window, which had stopped the bullet. T'Chaka decided to shield his family from any further shots, but it was just then that the Claw jumped up from the floorboards and began firing on T'Chaka's whole family and even his security guards. T'Chaka then leapt onto the Claw to protect his family, but the Claw took this as his opportunity and shot T'Chaka in the stomach, killing the man. The Claw would have probably ended up firing on the rest of the people there and hopefully ended the bloodline of the Black Panther, except that T'Chaka's son, T'Challa, opened fire on the Claw using his own gun against him. The Claw then fled the scene and managed to get away, leaving T'Challa with only the thoughts of revenge against this man. The rest of the 2005 Black Panther run is all about T'Challa eventually getting revenge against the Claw, and it's a pretty good story if you want to read it. Now, I'm gonna do something that we don't typically do here, and that is give you a little wiki information as to the actual origins of the Wakandan Black Panther powers. We looked all over for the comics that this was supposedly in, but we couldn't find it. We literally looked through Marvel Presents, we looked through the original Fantastic Four origin, we looked through it all. But this is mentioned on multiple wikis, so we decided we had to at least mention it here. Now, before man walked on Earth, a meteor fell from the skies which created a mountain of ore, and that ore was the very rare sound-absorbing element of vibranium, which is used throughout the Marvel Universe. The ancient tribes of Wakanda believed that this mountain of ore was sacred and they worshipped it. Desiring to protect it, they founded the cult of the Black Panther, whose main goal was to protect Wakanda from outside travelers desiring to steal from their mountain. The leader of the cult held the mystical power of the Black Panther, which was gained by consuming a heart-shaped herb that grew only in Wakanda that they believed had been placed there by Bast, the Panther god. However, there was nothing mystical about this heart-shaped root because it was in fact an herb that had been mutated by the vibranium meteor. So it was that way for 10,000 years, with the people of Wakanda being ruled by a king who held the title of Black Panther. Now, this vibranium is what makes the Wakandan nation so powerful, because not only do they have every known natural resource within their borders, but they also have this mystical meteor. Now, Black Panther has the powers of superhuman strength, speed, stamina, and all 5 of his senses are enhanced. He also has the knowledge of all the previous Black Panthers, leading us to believe that these powers are mystical to an extent, even if they are developed from this meteor that fell from the heavens.